What's going on, guys? If you're a trader and you've been trading for some time, you've probably gone through this. You've probably taken a very huge loss and it absolutely crushed you. Maybe even blew your account and you're at the point where you don't necessarily know what to do, what your next move is. Should I continue with trading? Should I take a break? Should I get my revenge right now? What should I do? Now, I've been through many of these moments in my life, and it's very important that you take these key things with you next time you were to blow your account or take a major loss. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's talk about how to deal with a major loss. So first and foremost, more than likely, you're taking a major loss because you over leveraged. And we know that one of the first rules and most important rules of trading is that you don't want to over leverage. You want to stick to your risk management principles, and you want to make sure that you stick to that day in and day out. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. And sometimes we break the rules and it doesn't necessarily work out for us. So tip number one, what I would say is acknowledge that this was your fault. Before you try to blame anything, the market makers, anything outside of yourself, look in the mirror and tell yourself, you know what, I should have known better. I was the one who placed this trade. I was the one who risked this amount of money, and it is my fault that I lost this amount of money. Take accountability. Make sure you're owning the loss that you just took, and that's very important as you move forward. Now, tip number two, very important here. Take a step away. It doesn't necessarily mean you're taking a break, like a week break or a couple months break from the charts, but you need to take a step away in that particular moment. Why is that? In that particular moment, losing that amount of money, whatever the amount of money is, but it's significant to you, losing a significant amount of money will definitely impact you psychologically and emotionally. You want to make sure that you stay far away from the charts because it's not going to be beneficial for you to do anything on the charts at this moment. You are not at your mental peak because you're dealing with so many emotions at this time. Very important. Take a step away from the charts, go breathe, go do something else, but just don't look at the charts and don't trade during this time. Now, let me give you an example of times that I didn't walk away and what happened to me when I decided to stay in front of the charts. The more and more I watched the charts, what would often happen and what would piss me off is that I would see price actually going in the direction that I expected it to go, and I would have won the trade had I been more patient. So as a result, I started to revenge trade, and sometimes that worked out, but other times it didn't work out and I lost even more money. And this is what we want to avoid, because the dangerous thing about revenge trading is that when it works out, it feels sweet. It feels like redemption. You got your money back. You did it. You conquered it all. But when it doesn't work out, you just start to fall into an abyss that can be endless. And before you know it, you lose way more money than you could have ever imagined. You don't want to fall into that. It's a best practice to just walk away and take a breather for a second. Now, tip number three, it's very important that when you do come back to trading, when you do come back to the charts, before you place another trade, it's time to review what happened here. It's very important to pinpoint exactly where you went wrong, exactly where you didn't follow your rules, exactly where you had that mental slip up, because you want to be able to avoid that next time. Before you continue on trading, you have to identify where the errors were, because we want to avoid as many mistakes as possible, and we want to progress each and every time we trade. We want to make sure that we're not repeating the same mistakes over and over again. We want to make sure that we're seeing progress and we're seeing growth. Now, the last tip is reinstill confidence into yourself. Very important. What happens in a lot of traders' journeys during a big loss is that they tend to lose confidence in themselves, in their abilities, in their trading overall. And you really need to reinstill that confidence in yourself. Whether that be looking at motivational content, speaking positively to yourself, or just reminding yourself of how good of a trader you are, and you go back to the screenshots that you've taken of successful trades that you've had. You need to reinstill that confidence that you are a great trader. This loss does not define who you are, and just as you've rebounded before, you will rebound again and become better and better and better. That's how you deal with a major loss, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot let it rattle you. You cannot put the blame on somebody or something else. You have to take ownership. You have to review what went wrong, and ultimately you cannot lose your confidence. You have to understand who you are, but you have to also acknowledge that there are areas that you still need to work on, and you will work on them so you can become better and become overall a great trader. All right, guys, so I hope these tips really help you in dealing with major losses throughout your journey. Make sure you implement them, and I hope this video was beneficial to you. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, guys. And until next time, peace.